Most people believe something that feels safe. If I work hard, save a little, and retire around 60, everything will somehow work out. It's a comforting story. A steady job, a small retirement account, a pension maybe, a house paid off, then peace. But here's the part no one likes to look at. The math doesn't care about comfort. Picture this. You finally stop working at 60 or 65. Your income drops overnight, but your expenses don't. Food still costs. Healthcare costs more. Housing still costs. Inflation never retires. So now you're living on a pile of money that must last 20, 25, maybe 30 years. And every single year, that pile is shrinking. Not slowly, relentlessly. It's like trying to keep a candle burning while the wind keeps getting stronger. From the outside, retirement looks like rest. From the inside, for many, it becomes a countdown. How long will my money last? What if I live longer than expected? What if markets crash at the wrong time? What if healthcare explodes in cost? Most people don't run out of money suddenly. They run out quietly. First they stop traveling, then they cut small comforts, then they worry about medical bills, then they start counting every dollar. Not because they were irresponsible, not because they didn't work, but because the numbers were never on their side. Let's strip the emotion away and look at the numbers. Imagine someone retires with $500,000. Sounds like a lot. Now imagine they withdraw just $2,500 a month to live. That's $30,000 a year. No luxury, no extravagance, just basic life. At that rate, the money lasts about 16 to 17 years, and that's before inflation, before medical emergencies, before market crashes, before living longer than expected. Now stretch that timeline. If you retire at 60 and live to 85, you need your money to survive 25 years. But your savings are built for maybe 15 to 18. So every year the gap grows, your expenses rise, your withdrawals increase. Your portfolio gets hit by inflation and volatility. This is the silent danger. People calculate retirement as if money stays the same, costs stay the same, life stays predictable. But reality is the opposite. Costs compound upward, markets move in cycles, and life always throws curveballs. So even if you did everything right, saved consistently, invested responsibly, avoided big mistakes, the structure itself is fragile. You are drawing down a finite pile in a world where time and prices only move one way. Most retirement plans are built on averages. On average, the market returns 7%. On average, my portfolio will grow. On average, I'll be fine. But retirement doesn't happen in averages. It happens in a sequence. If the market falls early in your retirement, when you've just started withdrawing, the damage is permanent. This is called sequence of returns risk. Here's why it's so brutal. You're selling assets when prices are low to pay for living expenses. So your portfolio not only shrinks from the crash, it also shrinks from withdrawals. And when the market eventually recovers, you're recovering from a much smaller base. It's like trying to refill a bucket after you've punched a hole in the bottom. Two people can have the same average return. One retires into a bull market and is fine. The other retires into a crash and struggles for decades. Same savings, same discipline, very different outcomes. This is why many people who did the math still feel uneasy in retirement. They sense deep down that the plan is fragile. Here's the cruel paradox. Medical science is getting better. Life expectancy is rising. People are living into their 80s and 90s, which sounds like good news, until you look at it through the math of money. Every extra year you live is another year your savings must survive. Another year of food, housing, utilities, another year of inflation, another year of healthcare. Healthcare is the real wild card. It doesn't just rise with inflation, it often rises faster. So the later years of retirement are usually the most expensive, exactly when your portfolio is the smallest. So the curve looks like this. Your money is going down, your costs are going up, and the time horizon keeps stretching. It's like two lines moving in opposite directions until they eventually cross. That crossing point is when people start to feel fear, not because they wasted money, not because they were reckless, but because the plan was built for a world where people retired at 65 and didn't live much longer. That world is gone. The natural response to all this is, okay, I'll just save more, save harder, invest more aggressively, build a bigger nest egg. But here's the problem. A bigger pile is still a finite pile. No matter how large it is, the structure is the same. You stop working. You start withdrawing. Time and inflation keep moving. Healthcare keeps rising. Markets keep fluctuating. So the question isn't just, is my pile big enough? It's, is my pile fragile? And most retirement plans are fragile because they depend on average returns, stable markets, predictable expenses, a fixed lifespan, perfect timing. Real life gives you none of those guarantees. So even people with good savings often live with a background anxiety. I hope nothing goes wrong. Because one bad decade, one medical shock, one inflation spike, or one long life can quietly turn enough into not enough. The mistake in most retirement thinking is this. It assumes your money should only last, not work. It treats retirement as a period of consumption, not a period of controlled production. But the people who don't run out of money don't rely on a shrinking pile. They rely on cash flow, not a salary, not full-time work, but income streams that continue to produce. Dividends, rental income, businesses that run without daily labor, royalties, systems built earlier that still pay. So the math changes. Instead of savings divided by years, left equals survival, it becomes cash flow greater than or equal to expenses equals stability. Now time is no longer your enemy. Longevity is no longer a threat. Inflation is no longer a slow killer. Because you're not just drawing down, you're replenishing. This is the real divide. Most people retire into a countdown. A few retire into a cycle. One slowly runs out. The other keeps renewing. And that's why, when you look at the math honestly, it becomes clear. The danger isn't that people don't save enough. The danger is that they stop building income engines too early. Retirement isn't about reaching a number. It's about reaching a point where your money can still create money, even when you step back. That's the only version of the math that doesn't eventually hit zero.